Morning, I'm Ladianne, and I'm here with a special episode of the Cheers to You show. Today, I'm going to have a special guest, so good morning. I have somebody with me. Let's see who it is. Surprise! I have Sheri. Sheri is my co-owner at Cheers to You. And we wanted to bring you a show about how we ended up getting here. A lot of people have said, a lot of people have said a lot of things, but they've said, how did you guys end up deciding to open a yarn shop? And how on earth did you end up putting it here? And why is it called Cheers to You? And, you know, all of those things that inquiring minds definitely want to know. I'm going to find you guys on Facebook here real quick. There we go. Okay. All right, cool beans. So we're good. And Julie's there. Hey, we miss you.
Look at my hat, Jules. I love it. Thank you.
And I could actually
Happy
do it
birthday.
around my ponytail today. And Mom is here. Hey, Mom.
Hello,
Good morning. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I'm having a hot flash.
Well, yeah.
Good times.
All right, so here we go.
Oh, wow, I can see.
That's good.
Hey.
We brought a bunch of pictures to share with you guys, and we were just going to chat about, let's just tell them kind of about how this all started and what happened along the way. And so before we found this space, let's dial back to, actually it was fall of 2015.
Wow.
And I know, and here we are in 2018. And I was actually starting into the Master Hand Knitter program through TKGA.
Yes.
Which is the Knitting Guild Association. If you guys aren't familiar with it, look it up. Oh, Astrid. Good morning, Astrid. How are you doing?
Good morning.
So at that point, we were riding around looking at yarn. And the yarn shops are great. But as an artist, and Sheri's an artist too, creative person with wood and all kinds of things, we were looking for a space that, or we were looking for a yarn shop that felt kind of like an art studio.
And it kind of felt like both of us belong there.
And we just didn't find that. And that's not to say there was anything bad about the yarn shops. It's just, it wasn't what we would have envisioned if we had opened a shop. And so at that point too, I guess I was looking for a career change, and we had been talking about a number of different businesses. Remember the blueberry and asparagus farm?
Oh, wow.
Tell them about that. We had a moment of.
So as y'all know, we refer to our house, our property, as Beaver Mountain Homestead.
Because we truly have little beavers on the.
So we have
no joke,
beautifully wooded acres, and we sit on top of a hill, and we have this awesome creek that runs along the perimeter of the property. And so we were out walking one day, and we saw a beaver dam and all kinds of trees that have been taken down,
which is really cool, by the way, if you haven't seen that.
And so at one time we had 2 beavers. So I guess we
Jokes
still do.
aside.
So anyway, we just started calling it Beaver Mountain, and then it kind of morphed into Beaver Mountain Homestead.
Yeah. So we talked about farming it, and that was
we were talking about clearing an acre of land because it's heavily wooded, and turn it into an asparagus farm
and Donna
and a blueberry farm. So asparagus in the middle, blueberry bushes along the side, and elephant garlic and all kinds of stuff.
Because Sheri comes from a farming background. Her family farmed, and she worked with her grandfather a lot. So when we started talking about blueberries and asparagus, which blueberries in North Carolina are actually a really big thing.
Yeah, because the soil is so acidic.
Yeah, so we started talking.
Sometimes soil so acidic.
Soil so acidic. So we decided to write a business plan, and we
thank goodness
we wrote a business plan.
Thank goodness we are very smart, and we decided to write a business plan instead of actually starting to clear the land.
Yeah, we did the business plan, and we built a financial model for the business, and it would be a great business if you were 20.
Yeah.
but the return on investment was something like, what, 10 years or so?
It was right at the 10-year mark.
Yeah, so we thought, all right, that would have been fun, but we're kind of past that point. So, Hey, Heather.
I'm too old for that. Hey, Heather.
So then we started talking about the yarn shop, and I have to give Sheri props because she immediately said, props. Go for it. Let's open a yarn shop. And she's not a knitter or a crocheter.
I know that's shocking, and that's a huge revelation. And thank you for outing me, Ladianne.
You're welcome.
Just
because I love you.
Yeah, I know how to knit, and everybody that walks in, at the yarn shop, they give me a hard time because I tell them I know how to knit.
She chooses
I just choose not to. Yeah.
Yep.
So Ladianne taught me how to knit. I told her we had to do that before we even opened the doors. So. She had
a little knitting lesson, and that was cool, but that's not her craft. And to be honest with you, and we've talked about this a lot, people think when you open any store that's, I guess, related to a passion of yours, that's what you do all day.
Yeah.
It is not at all what you do all day. And because Sheri has a really strong business background, she owned a landscaping business for 15 years. She's taught school, and so it actually really made a whole lot more sense than people looking in from the outside might have thought. So anyway, well, let us show you some pictures. So we looked at several locations before we found the one we're in now. This is a picture of Sheri when we found the location. And if you know, hey, Abby.
Abs! Hey, Abs!
If you know the shop, you know that over where our logo is on the wall, where all the cottons are and the lace and the fine weight stuff, is that little alcove. So this is Sheri standing in that alcove. There was just good morning, Nancy. There was a gravel floor. Here's another shot of this space. I know, it kind of blows my mind. This is
We've
what
come a long way, baby.
Yeah, this is what it looked like the minute we walked in. The first time we ever saw this space, it looked like this. So the next step was that we actually we signed a lease, which scared the crap out of us because you feel like you're signing your life away, but it was the best thing that could have possibly happened. So then we took measurements, and we went into a program called SketchUp. And we actually...
That's code for lady.
Well, okay, so, hey, Nancy.
Yeah, I pulled measurements because I carry a tape measure with me everywhere I go.
Yes, so she pulled the measurements, and then I started in on SketchUp to do the planning of the space, just to make sure that... Isn't that cool?
I love it.
And what's funny is it looks like that now.
It does, except the big fridge. We don't have the big fridge.
No, we have a little fridge, but thank goodness for the little fridge. So we did the drawings in SketchUp, and SketchUp lets you plop furniture in there to scale, so you can see how things fit. And it was
very accurate.
It's really accurate.
And so helpful. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's great. So when the landlord who did the upfit of the space asked for the plans, we were able to give them very specific plans about how we wanted the space to look because we'd already sketched it out. So we did that. The next thing that happened was our name happened. So Cheers to You, and then we came up with the logo. So tell them about how... the name happened, and you tell them the story, and I'm going to grab
funny story. So one day we were sitting out on our deck on Beaver Mountain, and we were having cocktails because it was 5 o'clock somewhere. And so Ladianne, we were talking about, let's open a yarn store, and it's got to be unique, and it's got to be fun.
We were past the let's open. We were at the, what do we call this place? We were just
talking about everything. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we were talking about the yarn store that we were going to open.
Yeah, that
obviously, we're past that. And so Ladianne said, we just need a really catchy name. And I said, yeah, it needs to be memorable. I said, because when people, walk in, they need to enjoy the shop. But at the same time, when they walk out, they need to remember, wow, that was a cool shop. Oh, God, I can't remember the name. So... she said, it just needs to be something really catchy. And so, I had my beer. And
I had my crappy wine.
Cheers to... Oh, and she said it needed to have sheep in it. U, E-W-E. And I'm like, oh, cheers to you.
Dink.
And she said, oh, yeah, great, cheers to you. I said, no, cheers to you. EWE. And she's like, ah!
Yeah, it was great. So then after we opened, because of Sheri, we won, it's kind of hard to see this because it's shiny, but we won an award from the Lake Norman Citizen newspaper for our name.
I can't remember the person that submitted us or nominated the...
I don't know. She was really sweet.
Yeah,
though.
it was
She was
awesome.
super supportive. So, Mom, I love you, and thank you for the love. So then the name
kind of love?
happened.
I can't see it.
Love with 3 exclamation points.
Oh, awesome.
Or explanation points.
That's a lot of love.
Okay, so now we have the name. We have a space. The next thing that happened was the concrete floor got poured. So here's the space with concrete. Then after that, because we had those grand, lovely drawings, the framing started to go in,
Framing.
which was a big adventure. Anytime you're going through a project like this, and especially in the commercial world, it goes far more slowly than it does in the residential world, and that's true across. Yeah. So we weren't moving as quickly as we thought we would, but
We were not moving as quickly as we wanted to.
which
So,
it all worked
that's
out
okay.
exactly
Yeah.
the way it needed to. But
Yeah.
so then after the framing went in and that was all determined to be right, then the walls went in. So here's the drywall, which is a flaming mess if you've ever
Oh, yeah.
seen drywall go in. So
It's like this in commercial and residential. I love that picture.
this is us. I love this. This is us in the space.
We're so proud of the mess behind us.
We did not create that mess. That was just worker mess that was
It's just a
happening.
beautiful hot mess, just like
It
us.
was a beautiful hot mess. We were just like, holy crap, I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then the next crazy awesome thing that happened, I love this picture.
This was, I love
When
this.
this day happened, when the sign went up outside, it made it for real.
You know, it's the meme on Facebook, shit just got real.
Yeah, it
did.
got real.
It sure
So
did.
we sat here and watched that, and so here's the first picture of the sign.
Wow.
And this was before it was even lit.
Yeah, oh yeah, because
So-
we didn't have power.
Yep. So that happened, and you can see the scaffold is still inside the window there, which is kind of cool. After that, next step,
Oh yeah.
the painting. And in case you're wondering what those crazy silver pipes are, they were trying to figure out the duct work. So at that point, it was going to be soft duct, and that got changed. But in this picture is one of the awesome worker people that you will
worker
see.
bee.
Pictures of. Oh, did I not? I'll have to grab those pictures and show you guys. Peyton and Zach stood on the driveway. In fact, I tell you what, let me cut back to us, and I'm going to get those pictures and put them in so people can see them.
Oh, the assembly line. Yeah, that was a good project.
Let me see if I can hunt those down real quick. We all spent.
This was definitely a Beaver Mountain
There we go.
team effort.
Okay, give me 1 second, you guys. I'm
Yeah,
gonna just.
so we had approximately 70-ish crates, wooden crates that had to be sanded, stained, sanded, polyurethane, and sanded
wiped
again.
down and all that mess.
Lots of wiping with tack cloth.
Okay, so
Yeah, so that was a good little chore.
So this is this is on our driveway,
picture.
and this is
And it was
this
freezing.
is Peyton.
It was
so
January.
cold. So just to put it in perspective, y'all, I know people say teenagers don't do anything. That is not true in our house. And yes, they're still teenagers, and yes, we want
Well,
to
wait a minute. I'm going to back you up on that one. It is true in our house.
occasionally.
But this was a great project.
This is
and
great. Look, they have teenager
Zach
moments.
and Peyton stepped up and really helped.
They
So,
did.
Yeah.
They did. So this is Peyton, and she now she's 18 and in college, but she was standing there sanding crates, and she wouldn't come in. Do you remember we would go to have dinner, and she would?
Or we set up a hot tea bar inside because it was so cold.
This is Sheri, Peyton, and Zach, and actually in this picture they're distressing the boards for the shelving.
Yeah. So this is a spoiler moment. I told Ladianne that I was really trying to find salvaged, reclaimed, old wood to use to make the shelves. And I could not find exactly what I wanted, or I found it, but it was several states away or several counties away or whatever. And we didn't have the time to travel and go get it. So I said, all right, so we're going to cheat.
It's not cheating. I think it was actually brilliant because it looks great.
Lowe's Home Improvement Store, Perimeter Parkway. Mm-hmm. Love that place. Thank you very much. And we bought 10 and 12 inch pine boards. Really good pine boards.
Which are far less expensive than going and getting old stuff.
The guys that were helping me thought I'd totally lost my mind because I was trying to choose the most beat up, crappiest board out there.
You wanted it to look,
and they were like, no, you don't want that. And I said, yeah, I did. So finally, I was explaining to them what I was doing. And so when we got everything back to the house, I used a drawing knife, which is awesome, and created more like dings and really knocked off all the harsh corners and edges.
It was cool.
Made it more round.
You taught Zach how to do it. It was
used
he loved it,
and just beat it up and a hammer and
then we sanded the hell out of them.
Yeah, then we sanded a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. And
our driveway looked like it looked like a sawmill had exploded.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great, but it was really fun. So Rosemary, good morning, Rosemary.
Hey, Rosemary.
She said, wow, I have a new appreciation for your undertaking. Were you anxious the whole time or cool? Depends on the moment.
Yes, we were very cool.
We were anxious and cool.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the way over here.
We did.
There were moments that it was nerve-wracking. It's a big commitment.
Yeah, I think it was more of being very excited, and we were also just
determined.
I knew that this place was going to be amazing because I can vision. I see things. I see it before. Like the gravel floor and stuff. I knew this red concrete was just going to be mind-blowing.
She also practiced free throws. She was a scholarship athlete, and what you envision is what happens.
Yeah, so I could see this place really coming together. Plus, Ladianne is a very creative artist, and so when she drew everything on SketchUp and we talked about it, and we were working on it there on the driveway. Oh, wow, it was awesome.
My worry, I felt like a little kid. I feel a little bit this way about tomorrow, where you do your birthday party and what if nobody comes? So when we got ready to open the shop, my fear was, oh my gosh, well, for one, there's nobody in the world of economics or business saying, hey, it's a really great idea to open a small, shop focused on what some perceive to be obscure hobbies, which are not at all obscure. But I was a little scared. I'm not going to lie. It's a big deal. It's, you're entering into, especially when you sign a lease on a space like this, you're entering into what amounts to a fairly long-term contract for a substantial amount of money. And so it's no joke. But I think the thing that, other than you being so, supportive and just, determined and strong and encouraging, the other thing that made me think, all right, we got this. Whenever I'd get kind of freaked out, Sheri would bring me back. And then the other thing
Get off the ledge, Ladianne.
Yeah, she would bring me back. Oh. And then the other thing that, it was a big shift for me too, to go from being an artist to doing this. It does. This was a big one. I took a big shift. But he's not coming for us.
Okay.
It's a FedEx truck, which, Field of Dreams. So the other thing, though, that helped me is, in my background, I worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers as a business consultant. And so I watched our company bid on contracts for millions of dollars. So by comparison, this was very, very manageable. I won't say small, but manageable. And so I thought, all right, when we looked at the numbers and we looked at the prospects and we read the data from TNNA, which is our the National Needle Arts Association, we thought, okay, the data looks good. We did
a lot of research.
We did do a lot of research, and we thought, all right, let's go at it. So let's see what else we've got to show you down here. So we showed you that. All right, so after We painted, and the crates got sand. Then it was moving. Oh, this is moving day. We hired some guys.
Should we say anything about the 11 days?
Well, it was what we got. So yes, the way this just happens. Okay, this is just things like this happen. Nancy, the opening was grand, and thank you. It was so much fun. Nancy. We have pictures of that, Nancy, so we'll show in a minute. But we got the key to the space, which was finished. It wasn't really finished, but about 3 weeks before we had to open, and then we actually had 11 days to get set up. So that was a picture of us moving in. This is our buddy Greg. We love Greg. Sheri acquired Greg through me. Greg is a really dear friend that I know from climbing. Ever. Yeah, he's a former. He still climbs, but he's one of my rock climbing buddies from way back, and he's great. So we moved in. Greg helped us assemble the shelves that Sheri had this grand vision for.
So it's black iron pipe. And just so you know, if you ever decide to use black iron pipe for any projects at home, you talk about greasy. They are covered in black grease.
So tell them what we had to do because that was another assembly line at the kitchen sink. Well, do you remember that?
It was a serious washing, degreasing. Yeah.
We stood there. I bet you it was 5 hours, 6 hours of washing pipes.
Yeah, and
we would do a chunk.
I'm trying to think of what we used. Was it TSP? It's some kind of phosphate. You can get it in the paint section, but it is fantastic if you're doing any type of staining or painting project, because prep is the most important part of any project. Mm-hmm. And we used this heavy-duty cleaner to remove all of the grease. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you get the pipes, they are completely just jet black.
Tell them why
they're greased up. Because you are using them, you know, in a residential setting or a commercial setting.
And they don't want them to rust. And
and it makes it easier to install as far as twisting and all that.
So they're gross.
We completely cleaned off all the grease, and lo and behold, they were slate gray.
They were really pretty when we got the grease off. So now it's almost sort of, our shop is kind of a cross between country store. And then that pipe is a little steampunky.
I love steampunk, yes.
It's just a little bit steampunk, but not so much that people walk in and want to put on a bowler hat or anything. So,
well, not yet.
Not yet. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, so then the next thing that happened, I love this. So this picture you're going to see.
Oh, wow. I got to put my
glasses on. This is part of our cash wrap.
Oh, wow.
I am going to give a huge shout out to Sheri and to Greg, because if you've been in the shop, you've seen our table. Julie loves the country store look.
Oh, thanks,
so glad.
Jules.
It feels like home, doesn't it, Julie?
Oh, it's very comfy.
I love it. The only thing we're missing is a big counter full of candy.
I was going to say
we need a candy counter.
Candy display.
So this cash wrap was when we bought the table for the shop. It came with a hutch, and the hutch had a top and a bottom, like a lot of them do.
Well, it's your traditional 1982 oak
like a hutch.
Table and chairs.
Yeah, with
dining room furniture.
The like top and bottom sideboard thing. So when we brought them back to the house, they were apart, and we were trying to figure out the cash wrap thing. And I thought, I was like, oh, this would be really cool. And I liked the high and low. Mm-hmm. And I kind of farted around with it a little. Like I took off the doors and all that. But
on
then
the top part, yeah.
I kind of went, all right, whatever. Like I didn't have the bandwidth to get there. And frankly, that's not my skill set. And so Sheri and Greg... Ooh, chocolate and sour gummies. Julie said, hell yeah. You're going to have...
My girl loves sour gummies.
I think on Julie's to-do list is going to be a trip to Walgreens to get chocolate and sour gummies. So this is a picture of Greg and Zach carrying in what is now our cash wrap. But Sheri and Greg actually created... Let me go back just for 1 second. They actually created this piece... All of the pieces of wood that are on our cash wrap came from Sheri's old house cabinets, which you can still see the hinge marks.
It's really cool.
My art studio at home that we took some shelving out of. And then Sheri worked for a nonprofit that did work with the veterans of foreign wars. And one of the posts of the VFW was doing a remodel. And so when they took out all of that wood, it was out of their den area, right?
Well, it was out of the pool room. And, you know, they had all this pine paneling that just lined the entire room. And I think it was built like in 1960, whatever. And so they were wanting to bring it up to, 2000 and whatever.
They pulled it all out.
And they, I worked with a lot of volunteers from the community, and Home Depot stepped up and really helped with that project. But they were going to just trash all of that pine paneling. And oh, my heart. Oh, when they told me that, I just, oh, wow. I had really bad heart pain. And so, I told the guys, I said, okay, I'm just going to back up Big Red.
Her truck.
Work truck. From my landscaping days. And I said, I'm just going to back up Big Red, and don't worry about denailing the boards. If you don't mind, just toss everything right in the back. And
again, they thought you were crazy.
Yeah, they thought I was crazy. And at the same time, they were jealous because they couldn't do that. They didn't have the means to do that. And so I brought home a load of the most beautiful trim pine paneling.
It was gorgeous.
It's
beautiful wood.
Oh
so
my gosh.
All of that.
It's beautiful.
It's now,
and
it lives
smelled
on.
like 4,777 cigarettes per board.
Yeah, they had smoking in there. And I think that after that, they got rid of smoking inside.
Yes.
But
yes.
those boards. But
Woo!
after Sheri and Zach, I think he helped you denail. After you guys denailed, then you and Greg started really to make this into a piece of art. So let me show them. Let me go back to the shot.
We laid it out. It was like a mosaic. It was so much fun.
So this is you and Zach and Greg getting ready to assemble the cash wrap at the shop.
Yeah, because we brought it in 2 pieces.
And then here's you and Greg. You had put the 2 pieces side by side, but we actually have a corner shelf thing that they put in afterward.
Well, we put it together on our driveway. And so we had to have, the 2 base pieces, and then we created the 2 tops. And they had to be removable.
My friend Lori's on.
Good
morning.
Is that
Lori Terrio?
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Lori. And then we created a corner because we had to have a connector. And so we were standing there on the driveway thinking, how are we going to tie these 2 in so they're actually secure and everything really fits the shop, interior. And so that's how we created this little corner cubby, because we used scrap pieces of shelving board and all that to put it all together.
They ended up putting it worked out really well because they put it on a base and whatnot. So it is sturdy. This thing's going nowhere.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's gorgeous. So if you come in and look, have a look at the cash wrap, because it's really cool what you can do with upcycled stuff. And by the way, although you can't see them right this minute, our hanging lights that hang from the ceilings, those are reclaimed. We actually got them off of Craigslist from a couple that owns Sport Clips. And Sport Clips was going through, I think they said the corporate thing was going through changing all the lights in all the stores. And so we grabbed those lights. Oh, and we...
flower delivery. Yay! Oh, what a fun day. We're getting flowers. Good morning. Good morning, Lauren. Good. So this is a mixture of carnations. Bye. Oh, wow. They're beautiful.
So thank you. I'll open it.
Who's it from?
I'll see. Julie's dad and Sonny sent us a bouquet of roses. You can see back on the table, and they're so beautiful. Sonny, it does take a village. It's unreal. It's been a great family process. Those are from Sonny and Julie's dad.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Oh, Mom and Dad. On Yo-oo-er.
What?
Great first year. Yo-er. It's the you instead of you.
Oh my gosh.
With Cheers and Love, Ann Hera and
Oh,
Joe.
thank you.
Oh my gosh. This is awesome. So, and actually, when we had our opening, we had so many sweet notes and deliveries, and it was great. And even we have to give a shout out to Elaine at the Needlecraft Center because she sent us flowers, which
she
is
did.
really
yes,
sweet.
Thank you, Elaine.
So, okay, so we got the cash wrap in, and I showed you really quickly. Sheri was explaining the cash wrap, but when we got it in, we got the top boards on, and she polyurethaned, and then after that happened, it was time for, let me see if I got the picture. Oh, wow. It was time to stock.
Wow.
The stocking, thank God, Sheri said, hey, let's use these rolling racks for the stock.
Hello, Yellow Belt 6 Sigma.
Yes, if you don't know what that is, it means that you are
crazy,
highly efficient.
Very
so we
crazy.
did that, and then right before we opened,
Mom
and Dad came. This is my mom, and here is my very silly and fun dad. And then we got ready to open, and when we opened,
there's Papa
Sheri's
Danny.
family came, and my
That's my
dad
dad.
and Sheri's dad played music at the opening, which was super fun. Julie said, yikes. Kathy, hey Kathy, good morning. She said,
Kathy, there's my friend.
You have great families. You. That's the joke around here is you. So after we got ready and
there's my sister.
The grand opening happened. Where is she?
She's all right. See Zach. So look at
I
around
see
2:00.
Yep.
So there's Zach and Brandy and Peyton and my cousin Lynn.
And then here's Sheri at the register.
Ooh, I'm working that thing.
At one point during the grand opening, there was a line wrapped around the entire store to get to the checkout.
Oh,
and
there's Caroline.
We have to say thank you to the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce because they supported us and they came and helped us with the grand opening, and they said it was one of the most successful small business grand openings they'd ever seen.
That's awesome.
Which I am very proud of and very grateful to them. Here's another shot of folks that were sitting at the table. There's Vicki Glover and Lynn.
my cousin Lynn.
And Mom and Zach and Peyton and some folks hanging out. So that's really, I mean, everything since then is us running the shop. So
it's just us sitting in the hot tub eating bonbons.
Yeah, bonbons all the time.
Yeah. We're not doing anything right now.
Well, and not long after we opened, and Julie and I talked about this on the show the other day, she came sauntering in her turquoise cowboy boots. Hey, how's your yarn? Let me see your yarn. And then we said, hey. And she said, you need me. And we said, yeah, we think we do. And ever since then, Julie's been part of this awesome hurricane. And now we also have Vicki Glover, who's one of our reps, but she teaches with us. And we have Heather Storta, who's an amazing teacher and a master knitter. We now have Sarah Carney, who is coming on board as a crochet teacher, and she has a class coming up to make little
French hens?
No. Yes, little sheep egg covers. The French hens is Julie's class. We also are excited to have Elise Speed. And we are also talking with a weaving teacher. So it's this great family of people that has we're just really come on board. Yeah. And, it's been family since the beginning.
Well, looking around, we didn't talk about the gondolas and Hancock fabric.
So that's the one other thing before we opened, and that's a reclaimed product story. Hancock Fabrics was right up the street from where the shop is.
2 miles from our location.
Very close.
Yeah.
And we went in there several months before, I think it was several months before we actually signed the lease. And and they said they were closing, and so they happened to have a list by the register
before we signed the lease.
Yeah, because then we signed the lease, and then they closed, and we had to go get the stuff.
Oh, that's right.
It was right.
Yeah.
It all happened very quickly.
That's right.
So there was a list by the register for if you wanted fixtures. Well, we thought there would be some warning. So we went and signed the lease, and about a week later, on a Friday morning, thank goodness it was a Friday, I got an email at about 6:30 in the morning and it said, we're closing today, come get fixtures.
What?
We didn't have a storage unit.
What?
We didn't have a truck big enough. It was just the two of us. So we ended up calling. Peyton and Zach helped us with some of that later on when we were moving to the storage unit.
The
lift gate
truck that had a lift gate.
We rented a truck with a lift gate on the back. We called around to get a storage unit. We moved the stuff.
We moved all of this
I think
furniture.
they helped us remove or somewhere in all of that. They came in and Zach helped somewhere, but that weekend was us.
Yeah.
And it was 14-hour days for about 3 days straight.
Yeah.
And a lot of McDonald's.
Good times.
I know. Quarter pounder with cheese, no onions, large fry,
No
orange
Slivos.
soda. Yeah, just in case anybody wonders. So,
that was awful. Don't say that.
hey, I like a quarter pounder with cheese, no onion, large fry, orange soda.
Orange soda.
Just saying.
Wow.
So, the secret is out. But then we got through that.
I think I'm suffering PTSD from all. I'll just be over here
retelling the story.
Wow.
So that's it. And now we're open. And now this weekend is our first birthday. And I feel grateful beyond, there are no words. I'm grateful beyond words because the folks that have, Julie said, now we need to eat sushi for lunch. Yay. Now, anytime, I don't know, it's weird. The right people have shown up and the right stuff has shown up, and it's this beautiful energy in this place.
Definitely beautiful energy.
It's fun.
I go back to, it's all about the universe. So whatever you're putting out into the universe, it is very, very true that it is going to come back on you.
Sometimes it smacks you like the spaghetti on that really bad commercial for antacid.
It smacks you really hard, either in a really good way, a good smack, or it's not.
Or you get smacked.
It's not going to be a pretty smack.
This has been a great smack.
Yeah, and Ladianne and I just basically compared skill sets, and what we have is crazy, and it's unique, and it's awesome.
We have a strange combination of skills.
Yeah, and
we're very complementary.
We work well together, and I think
we love working
together.
If
we ever had to give any type of business advice or any type of...
Ooh, I'm waiting to see what this one is. What is it? What's your big business advice?
I think it is to be very mindful of, who you choose or who chooses you.
Who you go into business with.
Yeah. It's huge because if, you need to listen to your gut. So if your gut says,
if somebody makes you crazy or you think you're making them crazy, don't.
Yeah, because with a business, our lease is 5 years. Ladianne and
that actually makes me happy.
Yeah,
and I can't believe a year is gone.
We're 5 years beyond that. But 5 years, you are with that person 24/7.
I love being with you 24/7.
I love being with you too.
Sheri is, I'm not going to get sappy, but I'm not, but she is a really incredible teammate. And honestly, the words that go through my head right now are holy shit. Because there were nights that we stood in here until 10:30, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, painting something, cleaning something, moving something,
staining something,
getting McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese. Yeah, we did have a beer in here. But
cheers to you.
But it's fun working with you because Sheri is very, we're respectful of each other. She's very respectful. We're great teammates. But we also like to have a good time.
Definitely.
And if you can't
Life
laugh,
is too short.
Then this would be miserable. But it's awesome.
And I have to give you a shout out and give you props. And
don't do it.
Just Ladianne is not an athlete. I know you find that shocking, and that there's another revelation.
Wait a minute. I was a rock climber, but
she's
not a ball sport athlete.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So rock climbing, definitely, absolutely incredible rock climber. But
not incredible, but okay. Anyway.
She, has never been on a sports team. I've been a part of some type of team since the 4th grade. So 9 years old, I'm with teammates until now. Wow, I'm old.
No, you're
had
not.
a lot of teammates, but Ladianne has to be the best teammate I've ever had.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for that. We talk about this every day. I mean, we've been together 7 years, and it's been
7 glorious years.
It has. It's been wonderful. I love every day, and it seems like every day we talk about, or I talk about, just how mind-blowing it is that you've never been on a sports team, but you are a fantastic teammate.
I love being a teammate, and I will tell you she's right, I'm not an athlete.
And that's one reason we are happy and we're successful in so many ways.
It's because I'm not an athlete.
You're an athlete.
Yeah, more of that.
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
It's fun. I think I learned, I'm actually going to go speak, and I hope you're able to join me, but speak to the Knitting Guild in Charlotte. They asked me to come and speak with them on Tuesday at their meeting, and I've thought a lot about what has brought me to this point, to this 1 year mark, and getting to the point of opening the yarn shop. And just briefly, really quickly, here are the few things I thought about. I started out college as an opera major, so I learned how to be the center of attention even when I don't want to be. My first job out of college was as a federal investigator, no lie, for the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. So I learned to do my research. I became a business consultant. I learned how to be quiet and listen, and then how to learn from that what advice you need to give back.
And then take you down with a smile on her face.
I hope I don't do that all the time.
Really sweet. I'm going to kick your ass. And you say, okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Well, in business, you have to do that sometimes. So business was that. And then as an artist, I learned to think outside the box and be creative and express. As a rock climber, this is where the teamwork comes in. I learned that when you are holding the rope, it's called belaying in rock climbing, but when you are holding the rope for someone else, it doesn't matter what else is going on. And I won't bore you with all the stories now, but I have some stories.
Good ones.
There's some good ones. Not as good as some of my friends who are professional climbers still, and guides, but when you're holding the rope for someone, it doesn't matter what else is happening, you don't let go of the freaking rope. Your number one job is to keep your teammates safe.
Pay attention.
And I think that's what we do for each other. You know, hold the thing in our house is hold the rope. Don't let go. It doesn't matter what's happening to the other person or whatever. Don't let go. And so that's what we've done here.
And don't place the rope around the person's neck. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's generally a good idea not to strangle your teammate, right? So I think that's it for us now. The next thing is tomorrow is our birthday, so please come and join us if you want information about the let me get it around my glasses.
This is a crocheted
by Julie Cashin
with a beautiful tiny little pom-pom because Julie knows how I love pom-poms.
My pom-pom wiggles.
Yeah, and you see mine, I have just a little bit of a
you have
color
a stripe.
band. I know. That's called a colorway.
It's a design element.
Design element, sorry. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and look how it goes in the shop.
It's awesome. She did that on purpose. And I'm kind of wondering if, I don't know if this will work.
I'm going to add a little attitude, little class. How about that? Oh. Wow. Okay.
The ruffle suits you, Sheri, Julie said.
Oh, thanks.
It does. Actually, Julie took these off the other day and they were suddenly a Madonna bra.
Madonna, I love it.
I only have one, so apparently she's a Madonnical. Thank you. I'll be here all day. Actually, I really will be here all day. So that's it. But we hope everybody will join us for the party tomorrow. Come during the day. We'll have sales. We've got some super sales going on. What?
Friday night, the Cheers to Ewe sheep will be
putting out. I know what she's talking about. There are 2 big boxes.
This is huge. It's bigly.
Madeline Tosh that are getting put out tonight. And by the way, the birthday yarn, I just want to make a quick note about that.
Oh my gosh.
It is gorgeous. It is 1 skein per person. It will go on sale at 10. be here at 10 if you want it. Uh-oh. And the other thing is we're able to take special orders for the birthday yarn. So if you need it in quantity or we happen to run out tomorrow, then we can order it.
Definitely.
But that's it. So thank you for...
So we open at 10 a.m. Business. Come on, lady.
Right. We open at 10.
10 a.m. We close basic shopping hours.
Close to the public at
5 o'clock.
So if you have a ticket, you can stay from 5 to 7. We'll have live music, cake, beverages, and fun because
Birthday
we're going to celebrate. Yeah.
So we have a few tickets left.
We have a few, but not many.
$10.
Yep. So get your tickets.
Yeah. You can do it online. You can
call the shop or come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's it. Thank you for being my co-host today.
I enjoyed it. Thank you for
it was
allowing
fun.
me to be a part of this.
And that's our story. And
we're sticking to it.
Scene.
Cut.
So thank you guys a ton for joining us. Please join Julie Cashin and me on Tuesday for the Cheers to You show back at its regularly scheduled time, and that is 9:15-ish on our Facebook page. And don't forget that in March this month, on Tuesday the 20th, we have Clara Parks as our special Skype guest on the show.
She's kind of a big deal.
She's a really big deal. So that's it. We'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday on the Cheers to You show. We go down and scroll us down
I won't be here, so y'all will miss me, I know.
We will miss you. So thank you from Ladianne and Sheri for everything that you've done for us and all of the support.
Thank you so much.
Without any further ado, this has been a very, very special episode of the Cheers to You show.